Mogul Motivation, educating and empowering entrepreneurs 1 week at a time. Presented by True Stories Media. And I am your host, Antoine Twiz Taylor. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Mogul Motivation. I'm happy that you are here. It's very difficult to be extraordinary in a world that's full of people with ordinary at best or mediocre at average mindsets. And I'm not saying that to be mean or condescending. I'm saying it because it's true. You see, majority of us in this world, we have ordinary and mediocre mindsets because we don't believe in ourselves, because we don't believe that we are capable of being extraordinary. So when you have an extraordinary mindset, when you have a great idea, when you have a vision, when you have a target that you're aiming to hit, and you share this with someone who has an ordinary mindset at best or a mediocre mindset at average, it spreads to you. They shoot it down. They tell you that it can't be done. They tell you, no, that's insane. And you start to believe it too. It's like a contagious condition. You know, it's kind of like negativity and mediocrity. It's the norm and it spreads like a virus. And I'm not trying to be funny because I understand what we're going through right now, the COVID-19 pandemic, coronavirus. But seriously, it's like a virus. When people are mediocre, when people think negative thoughts, when they think that they have a ceiling above them, it can be contagious and it can dampen your extraordinary mindset. That's why it's so important that you protect your dreams and you don't share them with people who are not worthy to hear them. Because if they aren't even worthy enough in their minds to achieve their own dreams, what makes you think they're worthy enough to hear about your dreams? They're not. You keep your dreams, you keep your goals, you keep your targets to yourself and to people who can understand the target that you're aiming for. When you're extraordinary, we have high targets. And we aim to hit those high targets no matter what. If you see a dream house that you want in your city and it's beyond your budget, that doesn't mean you aren't worthy of getting that dream house. It means you have to put in the necessary action so that you can hit that target and acquire that dream house. You see, when you lower your target, you dampen your morale. So your morale can go down by being around ordinary and mediocre people, but your morale can definitely go down when you lower your target. So for example, like I said, if you want that dream house, let's say for the sake it costs $400,000. You can't afford it. So therefore, you lower your target. So you start looking for a house within your budget. Yeah, on paper, that seems like the smart thing to do, no doubt. But at the end of the day, stop changing extraordinary plans to ordinary realities. If you really want that $400,000 house, who said you can't get it? Who in this world says you can't get that house? You can't get that house. So what you have to do is you have to put in the necessary action to hit that target. You're not lowering your target. You're just putting in the steps in place so you can hit that target. So one thing can be increase your income. Get another job. Start a side business. Do whatever you need to do to make more money, to get your credit score up, and to get your down payment higher so you can get that $400,000 house. Because see, what happens is, ladies and gentlemen, when you shoot for that high target, that extraordinary target that you have in mind, you're going to land in places that you didn't even imagine you can land at in the first place. If you're trying to go from A to Z, and if your mind is telling you you can only get to D, D is the ceiling, you're going to land at T. T is further than D. So you still progress even more than you ever imagined. And you're still on the road to getting to Z. So therefore, your morale is going to be higher. You're going to have more enthusiasm. And you're going to start telling yourself and seeing that you can do this, that it is a reality to hit that target. So when you're shooting for that $400,000 house, you're doing everything you can to get more money, right? You're doing everything you can to get your credit score up. You're doing everything you can to increase your value and your equity. So now, before you know it, you don't have to settle for that $150,000 house. You can get a $350,000 house. And now you're closer to your goal. And once you get that $350,000 house, you sell it, do whatever you need to do in a couple years. Now you have a house worth $500,000. You started off wanting that $400,000 house. You did everything you could because you refused to settle and you really want to hit that extraordinary target. You end up getting something that you never imagined that you can get in the first place. You have to understand, ladies and gentlemen, in all things, in business, home buying, weight loss, whatever it is you're trying to hit, whatever your target is, you have to understand if it's extraordinary, it's going to take extraordinary work, extraordinary steps, extraordinary actions to get there. You're going to have to put in 10 times, 20 times, 30 times more work to hit that extraordinary target than you would if it was ordinary. It sounds impossible, but it's not. And that's why so many of us have ordinary and mediocre mindsets and don't strive to hit extraordinary targets because we don't have the enthusiasm or the energy to do the work. And I'm preaching to myself because I'm guilty of this as well. I'm guilty of lowering my targets and settling for ordinary results. When you have extraordinary vision, it is a crime against yourself for abandoning it. It's a crime against yourself for telling yourself you can't get it done. Who said you can't be a millionaire? Who said you can't build this business? Who said you can't get that house? Who said you can't lose weight? Who said you can't get stronger, faster? Who said you can't do these things? Who said you can't be a millionaire or a billionaire? Who said it? Because whoever said it is ordinary, mediocre, or they're negative. And you don't need to catch that virus from them. And you better not say it either. Don't tell yourself those things because you don't want to lower your own morale. Keep those extraordinary targets in your mind and you will hit them. I guarantee it. So ladies and gentlemen, let's continue to work. Let's continue to imagine reality. Take those steps. Put in the necessary action to hit your targets. Don't lower your targets. You don't need to lower your targets. Because as you aim for that target, you're still going to end up hitting things that you never thought you could hit in the first place when you started out. If this podcast has benefited you in any way, shape, or form, ladies and gentlemen, I ask for two things. Number one, please leave a 5-star review. Number two, pass it on to a friend who may benefit from it as well. Have a great day. I'll talk to you next week.